Welcome to Foolproof Hunter. I'm Joe, and today we're going to review this Bernheim 20th anniversary small batch wheat whiskey. 10 years old. Let's get into it. Is this just another overpriced limited offering, or is it really worth your money? Let's find out. So this is a Bernheim small batch. This is a wheat whiskey. This is their 20th anniversary, aged 10 years, coming in at 115 proof. Mash bill of 51% wheat, 37% corn, 12% malted barley, and coming in with an MSRP of $85. According to their website, it is to be released nationwide in limited quantities. I did pick this up in my recent trip to Virginia. It was actually all over up there. 7 or 8 stores I went to. I probably saw it in 5 or 6 of them. So it was very readily available in Virginia. This is from the Heaven Hill Distillery. So I've actually never had anything from Bernheim. I've never had their small batch or their, is it barrel proof? I think it's barrel proof offerings from Bernheim. I have had their Larceny, which is their wheated bourbon mash bill. Never had anything from Bernheim. So it comes in a standard Bernheim bottle, except this being a special edition, has a 20th anniversary label on it and a copper, or at least copper painted little medallion that's glued to it. The bottle design is actually very elegant. I actually like it a lot. Looks really nice on your shelf. So let's dive into this and see if it's worth hunting. So on the nose, I'm getting fruit, maybe like a raisin or a grape or something like that. Honey and maybe a slight citrusy kind of note there. It's definitely popping. Not a whole lot of barrel impact. I do sense there is some age to this, but not a whole lot of char barrel impact. Not really picking up on a whole lot of vanilla or caramel or anything like that on the nose, but all right, let's put it on the palate. Man, for 115 proof, ooh, I don't think the Old Dominic has matte burn this much. It's still going. There's a good amount of proof or spice. Definitely, I don't want to say attacks your tongue, but it gets in there. Mouthfeel on it, very good. Pretty viscous, pretty oily. The finish on it is fairly lingering. It does kind of fall off there a little bit towards the end, but all in all, not bad across the board. So first sip of the day, need to get acclimated. So let's go back in for another sip, see if I can pull out any flavor notes. For 115 proof, it drinks, I would say it drinks above its proof. It's definitely not a smooth sipper, or I would say easily approachable or something like that. To me, if you favor more bolder and spicier type profiles, normally wheat tends to be a little more softer, a little more subdued. So most people turn to wheated bourbons and whiskeys because of that. This is not that. This is, think Elijah Craig with its aggressiveness, or something like a Booker's in a wheat whiskey. Picking up on some kind of a peanut or some kind of a nut there now. Maybe like red apples, something like that. It's not a tart apple, it's more of a red crisp apple. That could be a slight, I don't even want to say it, strawberry-ish note, or some kind of a berry note instead of a apple. Those lines kind of blur for me. Second sip. Yeah, it's definitely a spicy boy. Still kind of attacks your tongue there for a decent amount of time. I mean, it falls off and you're left with some nice baking spices. I mean, there's no rye spice on this at all, but if I was to have tried this, I would have thought for sure this was some kind of a low rye mash bill bourbon or something, because there's a good amount of aggressiveness to this, spiciness, and the proof bite there. Not getting a whole lot of oak impact on this. Why did I say that like that? Oak. Anyways, not a whole lot of oak. Say it again. Not a whole lot of oak impact on this. I would say more on the fruity side. It's definitely, it's got some sweetness to it, but not a whole lot of, I'm gonna say like, you're gonna have like some honey flavors there, some ripe fruits, red apple, or some grapes in there, something like that. So I would say this leans more into the fruit side versus the molasses and brown sugars and toffees. Definitely more fruity and spicy, I would say, is the profile. Not a whole lot of brown sugars and molasses and coffee and leather or anything like that. So I think that's kind of what it's missing. It's more fruit and slight sweetness and then spice, and then that aggressive proof point. Maybe this is why it's at 115 proof versus cask strength. Anything higher than this might have been just too much. Just my assumption. This is a tough one because I like what's in the bottle. I think there's some great flavor notes there. This has been open for 3 or 4 weeks now, so it's had time to kind of open up a little bit. It may get better in the future. I would say if you like Elijah Craig barrel proofs and Larceny wheaters, because those Larceny wheaters are a little on the spicier side. They're not like Maker's Mark or Weller, where it's a little more softer in profile. They're a little more aggressive in profile. Then you'll like this. This is definitely more of an aggressive wheater. Again, I like what's in here. Is it worth $85? This is where it's tough for me because Elijah Craig barrel proofs, Larceny barrel proofs exist, and they're cheaper than this. And in some instances have a higher age statement than this, or at least right here with it. So I get it. It's a special edition bottle. It's a 20th anniversary commemorative bottle of the Bernheim distillery and how long it's been around and its, you know, lineage and all that. But at the end of the day, I think this would have been a much better sale somewhere in the high $60, possibly $70 price range. I know that's not a big gap, but in this day of competition and the access that we have to good quality whiskeys, you gotta tighten those belts a little bit more, distilleries. These type offerings are getting a little harder and harder to recommend. So again, if you're okay with that price point, definitely don't overpay for this. If you see this for anything above $85, I would pass and wait. Unless you just absolutely have to have it, like if you're a fan of the distillery and you have to have everything, sure, you know, it's your money, do what you want with it. But from a taste standpoint, this is not what I would typically reach for in a wheat whiskey profile. It's, again, it's pretty aggressive and all of that. But at the end of the day, I do like it. I do enjoy it. I do think what's in here is really good. It's quality juice. And so with that being said, that's where I'm gonna leave this one. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying the content. Drop some comments down below. Have you had this yet? What do you think about it? Do you like some of the other offerings from Heaven Hill? Do you think this is overpriced for what it is compared to Elijah Craig barrel proofs and Larceny's and some of the other offerings that are out on the market these days? So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And until the next video, guys, cheers, y'all.